Hello listeners, welcome to my channel. I'm Judy from Hong Kong. I feel so glad you are here with me. In 2014, I wrote a book named A Silent Strong Man to cherish the memories of my father, who passed away the previous year from a fatal illness. Today, I want to share with you the time when my father stayed at the hospital to confront his illness in this podcast. I will read every line of the whole real story to you with every podcast for several minutes. I hope you will find love, meaning and message inside it. A Silent Strong Man. Chapter 1. Continued. On his fourth day lying in bed, Father began to be able to move his body slowly and successfully got out of bed to a chair, of course with enormous help from the nurses. When I saw him this afternoon, he sat on the chair, gazing out through the broad and seemingly seamless window at the stunning view. At first, I thought he was enjoying the view, only to learn what he was thinking afterward. Whenever I did not know what he thought, I looked affectionately at him and asked him about it. Nothing was more often than not his reply to me. Father did not lie, so I saw he did not have anything serious to think of. However, Father, as if opening up a topic, talked with me this time about some of his feelings about the past few days. Lying in bed and being unable to move even a little bit was a lot more painful than death, he said. Truly, he was tied somewhere to the bed in the first 2 days right after the operation to prevent him from moving, lest any move should hurt the wounds the operation made. Unable to turn my body from side to side, I felt my back severely burned, Father recounted. And now I know how painful and torturing it has been for your grandmother, long condemned to a bed for almost 10 years. He sighed. Seldom did Father mention life's pains. This time was the first time ever I heard him mention this topic. At that very moment, I fully got him, and at the same time, my heart broke at feeling the excruciating pain he has suffered. Yes, Father, grandmother is suffering, and we cannot do much for her except see her more, I replied to him with both of my hands touching his. In fact, the grandmother Father mentioned is his mother-in-law. Father lived a life of respecting and loving everyone around him, extending to all relationships. At that point, Father still could not eat despite him getting a great appetite to do so. What he said to us was that he felt very hungry every minute, not to mention every midnight. A medical tube embedded into a small blood vessel in one of his hands after the operation was to provide him with nutrition. This tube only could mean nutrition for me, but could not make my stomach full, he said, pointing at it and showing contempt despite a smile. Oddly enough, we were happy to hear him call for food. Perhaps, we thought, when a patient resumes eagerness to eat with appetite, it should be a symbol of making progress towards the very first stage of recovery. Undoubtedly, recovery at this part was crucial and indispensable to Father, and none of us dared to take it lightly. Dr. Chu came every day, attending to Father. However, we were not there every time he came. Thus, Father would sometimes repeat to us what Dr. Chu had said to him. Today he said Dr. Chu gave him a thumbs up after pressing his abdomen to examine if the colon inside was working after the operation. He then said Dr. Chu praised him as superb. I have never seen an old man like you able to suffer so much pain without fear or a word of blame. Father recounted Dr. Chu as saying. We could not help but laugh and applaud. Yeah, nothing could be happier and more encouraging than hearing Father's situation was progressing. But you still cannot eat. You have to be a bit patient. It would likely happen in a few days when the colon works further better. Father continued to quote what Dr. Cho said. Thanks for listening. I will go on reading the story to you in my next podcast. If you want to hear out the story with me, please subscribe to my channel and you will not miss any bit of it. See you in my next podcast and have a nice day.